I read Do I Know You by Emily Wibberley and Austin Siegemund-Broka. I hope I'm saying that right. And it's physical, you guys. It's not on my Kindle. Who is she? A few weeks ago, I went out to brunch with my mom, and while we were waiting for our table, there was a bookstore around the corner, and we both saw this and decided we wanted to buddy read. It is not on KU, you guys, so I did decide to just buy the physical copy. When I read the back of this book, the concept, it hooked me, and I said, I want to read that. The vibes were right. So let's get into it. This is about Eliza and Graham. They have been married for 5 years. I can't remember how long they've been together. I feel like it was 8-ish or something like that. Maybe I'm just totally making that up. But they have been married for at least 5 years. It is their anniversary weekend, and the in-laws have paid for them to spend a fabulous week on this Northern Californian beach resort. But their marriage, it's in a rocky place. They've kind of gotten to that, what I think a lot of people refer to as like the 7-year itch, where the spark has kind of died. Feel like they know everything there is to know about this person, and they've become boring and hit that almost like roommate phase. But this is not a book about people deciding whether or not they still want to be together after the passion has died. No. This is a book about two people who, even though the emotions of passion have died, still love each other so wholly and completely that they want to figure out how to bring that back. They're so dedicated to this relationship and their marriage that the uncomfortableness that they've gotten to, it's reached its peak, and change needs to happen, and they're both ready and willing to change. Graham is a lawyer, and Eliza is a voice actor who also sometimes does spicy narration. So they're road tripping on their way to this resort. The vibes are awkward, okay? They're starting sentences at the same time and being like, no, you go. It's just, there's no flow. They're both super in their heads this whole drive about how to bridge this gap that seems to be chasming between them. She's thinking, maybe I could lighten the mood, break the ice a little bit. I have this spicy audio that I'm supposed to record for an audition. Hey babe, can I record this audition? Do you mind? He's like, okay, we weren't supposed to work on this trip, but go for it. So she starts doing her darndest to record this spicy, and it just makes him uncomfortable. He's like, he climbs up, he doesn't know what to do with it, and is like, can you please not? She feels rejected. She shuts down. They arrive at the resort. They go to the check-in counter, and the girl who's helping them out says, there's been a mistake. Somehow 2 rooms got assigned to your reservation, and it was because when the parents made the reservation, they upgraded to the honeymoon suite, and it just made a separate reservation instead of showing as an upgrade. So she's like, I'll just cancel your regular room. Clearly you want the honeymoon suite. And in a split-second decision, Eliza says, actually, we'll keep 2 rooms. Don't worry, I'll pay for it. Graham, you take the honeymoon suite. I'm gonna go stay in this room. I think clearly there's some tension. She throws down the gauntlet and says, I'm tired of pretending like we're okay. We're not okay. I think maybe we need some time to get some space, to settle in before we try to force ourselves to be in this super romantic, just swoony situation. I know we're going to show up in that honeymoon suite and there's going to be hearts and flowers and chocolates and hot tubs, and I just don't think that that's going to help our energy right now. So she says, let's go to our rooms, we'll freshen up, and in 30 minutes, let's meet for dinner at the bar. He feels very thrown by this decision. He goes to the honeymoon suite, he settles in, and just feels so uncomfortable being in that room by himself, and also just feeling so confused about Eliza's decisions that he just decides to go hang out at the bar by himself until she's ready. And that's where he meets David, who is there for a singles convention that's happening at the same resort. They're chatting, they're getting to know each other. He says that I'm here for my anniversary, and the guy goes, where's your wife? And he says, I don't know. And the guy's like, ooh, rough. He assumes that he basically came here by himself, has been either abandoned by his wife, or they're no longer together for whatever reason. So when Eliza comes down to meet them, she goes to say hey, what's going on? And that guy, his name's David, he thinks that she's a girl just coming up to flirt. So he's like, hey, I'm David. This is my buddy Graham. And in a split second, also, Eliza's very impulsive. They just decide to go with it. She has an theater and acting background, improv. So then for the next hour while they're having drinks with David, her and Graham are just pretending like they're perfect strangers, meeting. They're being flirty. The banter is flowing. And it's just really good. Both of them feel really excited and like really encouraged by the fact that, okay, we can still do this. Like we could still be two people having a conversation. But then David leaves and they sit down to actually have dinner together, and they're like, that was weird, wasn't it? And like Graham sort of brushes it off like, okay, we're just going to continue and figure this out. And she's like, I have an idea. What if we keep doing this for the rest of the week? We just pretend, like they made up totally different personalities. Like they still have the same names, but she made up a new job, a new background, a new family, and he did the same. So she's like, what if we just keep pretending to be these other versions of ourselves for the whole week and just try to get back to the chemistry that we had before, like when we didn't know anything about each other. She definitely seems to be like the more excited party about this idea than he is, but in his mind, he thinks that he has become so boring. He's like, I don't know how I tricked this stunning, beautiful creature to fall in love with me and to marry me, but she's finally starting to realize that I am not exciting, that I'm not adventurous. I'm not this guy that I was when we were dating. And as soon as she realizes it, she's gonna leave me. So if this is what I have to do to get back to like that place and to convince her that like I'm still into her, that I still love her, I'll do it. A little bit on Eliza. She has a sister who is getting married, and a few months ago she helped her plan this beautiful engagement party, and she missed it because she was in the studio performing something, things weren't going well, and she missed her flight. Literally could not get another flight out until the next day. She shows up, her sister was furious, didn't even ask her why she was late. She just said, it always has to be about you, you're just the star, and like you can't handle anyone having the spotlight. So she just shut down and said, oh, this is what my sister really thinks about me, fine. And they haven't spoken since, and she has not received a wedding invitation to her sister's wedding. So she assumes that she's been kicked out of the wedding, her sister doesn't want to see her, doesn't want her coming. But she has also not reached out to her sister to like fully apologize or clear the air or explain herself or anything. She's just been avoiding it. And that's kind of a common theme with Eliza. Throughout the middle of this book, it's all them living in these separate hotel rooms, running into each other and trying to make it organic, like they really were strangers just meeting at this place. They only break character for emergency situations. Graham is really trying to use this situation as a tool to like gain confidence in himself, but also get to know her more through this fictional person that she's created, because it's still her. And he's noticed a lot of the new facts about her new persona are things about her own life that she wishes could be different. Like she has 3 sisters who she's super close to, where in real life she has 1 sister who's semi-estranged. She has a really laid-back job as a travel agent, where in real life, even though she loves voice acting, it's not as free form. It's a little bit more involved. And he's just trying to like decode all this new information about his wife through this game that they're playing. And she's also loving how this game has given her husband an opportunity and an invitation to flirt with her, to engage, to ask questions he's already asked before, to be a little cocky, to exude swagger, things that he had when they were dating that she feels like have sort of like fizzled out. Little does she know her husband has always been super insecure and felt like he was a reacher in their relationship, like he never deserved her, and that like he's just had to like keep up this facade to like please her, to be interesting enough. So she's sort of reteaching him that he is interesting. She is interested. She loves him and he can be confident. I will say some of the middle stuff was a little slow going. It took him like 3 days to just ask her out on a date. I'm like, clock is ticking here. Can we make this like an insta-love meet cute maybe? You're already married. But they took their sweet ass time. Things are going well. They've reconnected emotionally and physically. It's the day of their anniversary and her mom calls to ask about her sister's wedding, and it really shakes her up. And then the in-laws who booked the trip show up at the resort to take them to brunch. They try to fake it like they haven't been staying in separate rooms this whole time. Little do they know, the in-laws know. They called and tried to send flowers to their room, and the front desk was like, which room? Busted. They complain about the whole thing. They both are very intimidated by the in-laws' marriage because they have a seemingly perfect one. And Graham says, Eliza, I'm sorry. I can't keep pretending. I can't be this person that you want me to be because it's not who I am. And I just can't keep up with it. She has a heart-to-heart with her mother-in-law, ends up calling her sister, fixing things on that front, deciding, no, I'm not going to lose my husband. I love him, and he needs to know how much I love him. Cue grand gesture. They renew their vows. And it was so sweet. This was not a super spicy read. There was a couple scenes here and there, but I love a good marriage in trouble where their true love for each other never really wavers. And that's what I loved about this. They never fell out of love. They fell out of connection, and this whole book was just them trying to find it again. So good. Happy reading.